My fave and yours, because everyone has to be a Twice stan if you're in this chat. That's the rules. Kim Nayeon is having a solo, y'all. So this is actually a couple pieces of news like put together. First of all, Twice recently got their own Instagrams. So Twice, for the past few years that they've been active, they've been very much the power of nine. And they don't really get much like solo activities together. I mean, without each other. It's very much like we're nine or we're none. All right. So one of the ways they kind of showed that is that they had a single Instagram that they would all post from. So if you wanted exclusive cute stuff from Twice, you need to go to this Instagram. So recently they all got their own solo Instagrams. Now, Twice, they debuted in 2015. So they are one of the many groups that are up for renewal this year because it will be their 7th year. So I don't think we've heard any news from it now or yet, but with this new account, like all these individual accounts opening, I was seeing that a lot of people were saying that this is proof that they're going to re-sign. Do you agree with that assessment, Jasmine?
I don't know. Nayeon, I don't know. Did everyone put Twice in their usernames or something?
So that is a great question. I did look. I know a couple of them had it. I forget off the top of my head, but I know Momo did not. I think Jungyoung did. I can't remember everyone's though. So some people did, some people didn't. None of them had it as part of their usernames, but in terms of like the bio, some of them had Twice in there.
Okay. Well, okay.
But yeah. So, okay. Andre mentioned they just performed The Feels as Nine on Stephen Colbert last night. I didn't get
Wait, what?
Yeah, I didn't get to watch that.
Last night?
Yeah, it was very recently. I believe it was last night. But I was like, what is this for? I was very confused. Because it was
Did we already do this?
Perform The Feels on Stephen Colbert?
Well, I don't know if it was on Stephen Colbert. I thought they performed The Feels.
I know.
Maybe they just...
I don't know. I know they promoted it, but I didn't... Guys, give us the tea. Did they...
The Feels was the English one, right?
Yeah. No,
I thought they performed that, like, on places.
I mean, it was very random to me that when I saw it posted, I thought it was old, but now that you're saying it was from last night, I'm like, oh, okay, it was recent.
Huh.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Well, I feel like I just got like transported. I was like, wait, what day is it? What year?
It's 1973.
Excuse me, sir. What year is it?
But yeah, so a lot of people were wondering what that meant. I see Tian, you're saying, I feel like it's a big possibility that Jungyeon and Chaeyoung may choose not to re-sign with JYP, but may still promote as Twice, similar to how SNSD and EXID did. That is becoming...
Wait, why that?
Yeah, actually, why them? I know like people are like very much like... Chaeyoung is like a very unique soul in that regard. So maybe that's why. I don't know. Would you say people are saying that about Jungyeon just because, she's kind of taken off and been on hiatus every now and then to kind of deal with her anxiety? Is that what people are getting at? But yeah, I don't know. I could see them staying at nine as nine, and especially because there's like, when people do that, like do the whole like, oh, we'll be apart, but then come together as a group. Like that's very, like, it's very lax. Like, it's not saying, okay, we're going to have a comeback every year, blah, blah. And so I feel like it's a perfect compromise with keeping your fandom together, but then not being tied down to, like, the normal idol, schedules and, music output and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
But I guess we'll see. But that brings us to our next news that Nayeon was announced that she was going to have a solo song. So on May 19th, it was announced that she's going to make a solo debut. She'll be releasing her first mini album. So I think you pointed this out, that it's like, her name's Im Nayeon, but like, it looks like I'm Nayeon. So I don't know if it's like, I feel like, did she point that out?
I didn't say that, no.
Okay. Maybe it was in a dream.
It does look like that, though.
And I'm like, if that's the case, that's very, very cool. But it might just be Nayeon. And that's going to be released on June 24th. And pre-orders will begin May 24th. So, like I mentioned, this is the first Twice member to go solo, because prior to this, for their last 7 years, they've been really tight-knit as a group of 7. I know a lot of people cite that they didn't want another Suzy situation with Twice. So they made sure that it was very group oriented, group oriented promotions. I remember how big Chewy was as like a phenomenon when they first came out, and I feel like they did a like decent job of making sure she wasn't like the Suzy of the group. At least after a while, there was some stuff they did that was pretty questionable, but they reined it in. So, what did you think about hearing that she was going to be the first soloist, Jazz?
I didn't know. I didn't think she was going to be the first one, but I don't know. It seemed exciting. Yeah, there's nothing. I was actually just surprised that they were doing solos at all. So
True.
I think that was my main surprise for me.
Do you think they waited a bit too long?
Kind of, yes.
Do you think, okay, I'm going to preface this as saying, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but I feel like when artists go solo, especially when it's an artist in a popular group, there's like the ones that actually break out as like solo stars in their own right. And then there's the ones that are like, they have popular songs, but it's very much insular in their fandom. So they'll sell a lot of albums, they'll maybe do decent, get decent digital downloads, but it's very much a fandom, people who already like them versus like individuals from the general public checking out their music. So, yeah. Which one do you think Nayeon will fall into? As nice to put as possible, listen once is don't eat us up.
I guess, I don't know. It depends on the song.
I guess that's true.
She releases.
That's very true.
Yeah. It really depends on the song to me, because like if it's a song that's really good, maybe the general public will be like, okay, yeah, like this is good, we'll keep an eye on her, like just to see like what else she releases. But I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think it will get attention because it's like Nayeon from Twice, but we'll see. I think it's true. I mean, the way it's looking, I'm like, it's giving like Ariana Grande circa 2013. This picture is not from, by the way, this picture right here is not from anything from this album. This is just a picture that I think because it went so good with the album, I noticed a lot of articles were using. Yeah.
So I actually thought it goes with it.
Yeah. I was like, wait, this kind of fits, so let me keep it up.
Also, it kind of looks like it's a nail polish.
Right? Maybe she's not releasing a mini album. She's actually releasing a nail polish line. Following in Jessica's footsteps. The rumor is that Chaeyoung never really liked the cute concept and has become more rebellious with her choices. Supposedly, she got tattoos without anyone knowing because she wasn't allowed to. I think that's so tired when they have that much control over her body. But I can definitely see that. Yeah, she always seemed a lot more edgier.
Yeah.
Scout says, I'm hoping they're going to give everyone a solo opportunity and just go from oldest to youngest. Maybe that's it. Because I did see, and Tian mentioned it, a lot of people being like, oh, Nayeon and not Jihyo.
Yeah.
For the first soloist. But Nayeon is older, so maybe that's what they're doing it.
That makes sense.
Tian also says, I feel like Jung Yeon, I always mess up her name, may not resign due to her anxiety and mental health issues. I don't know. Mental health is very important, and when you're mentally stressed, it takes a toll. Yeah, she has struggled over the past couple of years with anxiety and things like that. I don't know, but I feel like, okay, now that they've resigned or potentially resigned, they're past that 7 years. Do you think we're going to, especially now that I believe there's news that they were going to get more solos and even subunits, we're not going to get as consistent as Twice output. Like, we're not going to get that release every year thing.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that. I was like, now that they're doing solos, she probably could have a break and not have to work as much.
Yeah.
because like it'll be spread, like the focus will be spread, and it won't be so much like, oh, it's twice stuff that we have to do. It can just be like, oh, twice Nayeon, twice Jihyo, like just spread it out.
Yeah.
And she can just come in when she wants.
I agree. I feel like definitely if they just like, maybe if they dial back the amount, then it won't be as stressful for her and she can still stay a part of the group.
Yeah.
Andre says, but how true is that Suzy situation though? Like I keep hearing that comparison, but how true is it? I don't think that Chewie was ever like near being like the next. I mean, we won't know because they kind of nipped it in the bud, I feel. And I also think the whole scandal that happened with her and the flag also kind of made a dent in that whole situation. And Tion's making a good point. I remember a lot of people saying that in the beginning, Nayeon was actually, people felt like, I feel like even post the whole people saying that she's the next Suzy, she was always very much made the center and the face of Twice in that regard. Like, if you think of one member as Twice, it's like her. So I don't think that ever stopped, but I feel like it just wasn't in the way where like no one else had any type of, not that no one else had any type of presence, but it was just like a super fixation on just one member. I don't think that ever happened. But yeah. Oh, Ollie makes a great point. I feel like a lot more idols would stay in their groups if they were given the opportunity to branch out or do their own thing. I could be totally wrong though. What do you think about that? Like, do you think we would see more like 7+ if they were just like from the get-go you could do what you want and had more freedom?
Probably. It also could like lead for people to like leave. Because they're like, I like this a lot more than doing this group stuff.
That's true. I mean, I guess example of that would be like Lay.
Yeah.
You're like, that's true. Yeah.
You would just be like, let me video call me in. His cameo into the song. You know, he did not fly to Korea for tempo.
He said, CGI me in or nothing else. Okay, I have things to do and bills to pay. Okay, so. But yeah. I heard that Chewie might debut as an actress in Taiwan. I didn't even know she had interest in acting. But is the break thing a good thing? The K-pop world is always moving. A big example is Kara. Kara took the years of 2012 and 2013 to promote in Japan, and this was during their blow-up of K-pop, and no one knew who Kara was. I feel like they had been popular because they didn't start promoting Japan until after they blew up with Mr. So I believe they were people like, it was kind of simultaneous, right? I think definitely it was, they were probably one of the ones that severely most split their time between Japan and like Korea, and were very successful in Japan while doing so. But I feel like they had already been popping at the time, if I can remember right. Mr. Mr.
I think this is the time that I did not listen to like girl groups.
Oh yeah, the original sin that you didn't like girl groups. To be fair, I was kind of not that savvy about boy groups either, but yeah. That's crazy to me.
Opposite end.
I just be like saying things to you, like, what's that? I'm like, oh my god, we have so much work to do. But yeah,
I still don't know.
A Daisy says, Monster X is in the middle of negotiations. Negotiations. What am I saying? Too. I am and Min Hyuk haven't resigned as of yet. Wait, did they release that some members have resigned? Or I feel like that's so messy when they're like, this many people have resigned. I don't know about those other two hoes, but like.
Put the pressure on them, please.
Just know if the group bakes up, you know who to blame, bitch. Like, I feel like that's what they're low-key saying. But I don't know. That's kind of messy. Andy says, another case with BBP. Jenny got her solo promo 2 years after their debut, and the other members have been following, albeit years later. But though, yeah, idols being given solo stuff could be a good incentive for them to resign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think sometimes, though, you get, like, a case where, like, somebody's just like, I've done my 7 years. I don't want to do anything like this again.
Yeah.
I've done my time. Like, Minju. She's like, I've done my time as idol. I don't want to do that no more. Is that not shady to say who has resigned and who hasn't?
I mean, eventually people are going to find out who's not there anymore.
I feel like that's so shady. Because I feel like
they're going to get blamed anyway.
That's true. Let's be real. Let's be honest. But yeah, so I'm very, very excited. I think this is a awesome way to open up this new chapter in Twice's career, like seeing them solo. I feel like there's so much things we can see, and we did get a taste of that because on the what was the album with Scientist, there was a lot of like, you know, like units and stuff like that. So I feel like that gives us a taste of like not all the girls together.
Yeah.
Scout says, it is weird to make articles about it, though. It puts more pressures on the members who haven't resigned. Yeah, I definitely think it's like a scare tactic or something.
Yeah.
Which is shady. All right, so good luck to NAYEON, and moving on.